Okay, before you look at this deck list, you go, wow, this deck sucks. Just think of this. I'm doing two deck lists. The first deck list I'm doing right now is for the first few replays, and the second deck list I'm going to do right after this is for the few replays after that. This one is themed, so it's meant to be Hasselberry's deck mixed with Invoker. And then I unlock Purgatrio and do an actual good version of the deck. So to throw it out there, first of all, we're doing Ultimate Tyranno. 3 Invokers, Aleister's the Invoker. We got a Giant Rex, but we got 3 of them. We got Evilswarm Salamandra. We got 2 Hyper Hammerheads, return cards to the hand. We got a Skelesaurus, glossy. 2 Megalosmasher X's for the all these are all 4 invoked. So we got, like invoked water, invoked earth, and all that stuff. We got 2 invocations. 1 Jurassic World, Wall of D, Fossil Excavation, Survival Instincts at 2. Then we have 2 Invoked Earth, 1 Cocytus, 1 Earth, or 1 Dark, and that's it because I didn't have Purgatrio at the time. So this is the quick deck. We're using Dinosaur Kingdom in order to have a Jurassic World on the field at start, and this is more dinosaur thematic than it is invoked. And then the next deck list, which I'll show you, which is a way better, actual good version, is the one that actually will do good. But Tyranno's deck got me the Legend last season. I recorded the replays 3 weeks ago, not 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago. So for the actual good working version of the dinosaur and invoked, we're going to use Sorcery Conduit. You should all know this by now. Lose 1,000 life points, pull out a Spellcaster, with the only spellcasters in a deck being Aleister. That is a guaranteed Aleister at a loss of 1,000 life points. So we have 3 Aleisters. We got rid of the Ultimate Tyranno because that was just a thing for Tyranno, but we still kept the 3 Giant Rex. We have 2 Hyper Hammerhead still, and we got Jurrac Spinos, which why do I have this in the deck? I don't know, but it's in there. We got Jurrac Protops. We have a Scapeghost. We have Jurrac Monoloph. 2 Megalosmasher X's. Invocation at a 2. Gold Sarc. Cosmic Cyclone. Wall of D. Invoked Purgatrio. We got Invoked Earth at 2, a Cocytus, and a Dark. So the idea of Gold Sarc is that you banish one of your Giant Rexes, and then his ability will let you summon him immediately, so you can get 2 Giant Rexes in 1 turn. Whatever. So the core concept of this deck is essentially banishing your Giant Rex in order to resummon him on the field and swarm the field with high heavy monsters. Summoning him, and then next turn summoning Invoker will then, when you use Invocation, will banish Rex, and then you can resummon him. That's pretty much the idea. Purgatrio is better than all the other invoked, in my opinion. Even Cocytus at limited at 1. And hope you enjoyed the video.
It's time to duel!
First duel we have going on, I get to go second, is against Jaden Ubel. I'm going to try to power through these Tyranno cards, duels, because it's not as good as it could be. It's just, like I said in the deck list video, the deck list portion earlier, that it's just a thematic idea. But he uses a Jaden hero deck with Jaden Ubel, so that's pretty awesome. I'm using a Tyranno deck with Tyranno. I attack into his Hummingbird with Giant Rex. Jurassic World giving it a 300 attack boost. He summons Keeper of the Dragon Magic in order to get Neos Fusion into his hand. He then uses its effect to show me a Fusion card and summon Aqua Dolphin from his graveyard into the field. Then use Neos Fusion to throw Neos and another card into the graveyard to summon Brave Neos. Brave Neos attacks by Wall of D's, getting him down to 600 attack. He loses 1800 life points. Down to 2700. I set Fossil Excavation, summon a second Giant Rex, attack into him again. End my turn. He's down to 400 life points. I'm still at full. He uses Miracle Contact to bring a few cards into his hand and Neos in his hand back into the deck. I meant deck bat last time. He used Storm Neos, destroys my magic and trap. I get attacked. He uses Neos Fusion to survive. I summon Hyper Hammerhead, take 1500 in order to return his card to his extra deck. I can't attack with Giant Rex directly. He can only attack into monsters. He summons Space Connector and Hummingbird, and I get 2 Hummingbird onto the field in order to use their effects to get 1,000 life points for my 1 card, 500 each. I summon Aleister the Invoker, get an Invocation into my hand from my deck, shuffle my deck, activate Invocation, get rid of Giant Rex and Invoker to summon Invoked Earth, use Giant Rex to come back on the field, use Invocation to bring Aleister back into my hand, and then Invocation back on the deck, attack into both Hummingbird with Giant Rex, and directly with Invoked Earth, and that's 3k. That is how I was using Dinos last season. And again, this deck got me to Legend, so very, very, very surprisingly, when I can't do that with meta decks. I guess Invoked is meta, but you know what I mean. You don't know what I mean. These were recorded 3 weeks ago as of today, and today is January 4th. So this was recorded a decade ago. I go first against Maximilian Pegasus. The decade doesn't start until next year. I have Hyper Hammerhead, Wall of D, Excavation, and Giant Rex, so I summon Giant Rex just to, throw a big beater in his face. He sets a card, ends his turn. I summon Hyper Hammerhead, attack into the face down. It's Clock Resonator. Its effect allows it to survive 1 attack. He Night Beams my Wall of D, summons the Assault Mode little conjunction that they do together, gets Assault Beasts or whatever his name is into the graveyard. Side Reflector is his name. Uses his little mumbo jumbo magic to get a level 8 synchro monster out, and it is Red Dragon Archfiend, whatever you want to call it. Attacks into Hyper Hammerhead, doesn't know his effect, gets returned to the hand. I use Fossil Excavation to have him forfeit. So, if you don't read the effects of Dinos, they're like, how do you not read effects? Why would you just swing into a random card that has an effect? First of all, Giant Rex couldn't attack directly, and Hyper Hammerhead, it returns cards to the hand. I'm pretty sure it's a ticket. No, is it a ticket? I don't even remember how to get Hyper Hammerhead. It should not be unknown what Hyper Hammerhead does. Joey Wheeler is next, the 3rd in line for my Tyranno deck, which should not be doing this good, but it did do very well. I get an Aleister in my hand and summon it on my turn, get an Invocation. I can make 3 of the 4. I use it to make Cocytus, the 4 available Invoker fusions. I return Aleister to my hand. End my turn, I cannot attack. I don't have any back row, he only sets a card. I have an extra Jurassic World just in case. I attack into him with my Giant Rex, attack directly for 1800. What can he do? 2200 life points left. He summons Monoloph, flips down my Rex, attacks into Cocytus for some reason, loses a bunch of life points. I flip my Rex back up, he flips my Rex back down. So I summon Aleister the Invoker, get an Invocation into my hand. I use Invocation on Rex and Aleister to get Earth, and then I can special summon Rex from my banish pile back up, so it's face up and he can't flip me face down again. I return an Aleister to my hand. I attack into Monoloph with Rex just to show him what's up. Earth, 3k, he's out. So that's Invoked Dinos beating Invoked Elementsabers, the top tier #1 deck. So there. And then we got Bandit Keith. I will random. This is my win to rank up to Legend match, I believe. Again, it is ridiculous that I lasted that long. Alright, so I get a pretty good combo of what I want. He uses Gravekeepers to get a... what's his name? Silent Magician. That's her, not a him. Silent Magician on the field. So I use Jurassic World to try to bait the negate. It doesn't work, so I use Invoker to get a second Invocation. Since I didn't bait the negate, I will use Invocation to get negated in order to use my second Invocation anyways, because who cares? I got 2 in my hand, so there, fool. I summon Invoked Earth with Rex. Too bad I can't banish him, but I gotta make do with what I got. I use one of the Invocations in the graveyard to bring Aleister back into my hand, attack into Silent Magician. I want her to level up because I hate the negate effect. Don't want that to happen again, so now that won't be a problem. Plus, if she attacks into me, I can use Aleister's effect and survive. But he tributes off with a Econ. Use Recruiter's effect to bring him Gravekeeper monster. I believe there was another second Recruiter. Then uses Switcheroo, calls me a dweeb. I am a dweeb. I Wall of D, my own monster and his own monster, in order to survive. with just 700 life points left, I summon my second Aleister. My same Aleister, it's not my second Aleister, my same Aleister. Use Invocation, get rid of my Giant Rex from my graveyard in order to special summon him. Get my second Earth onto the field. Summon Giant Rex. Use Invocation in the graveyard to bring my Aleister back into my hand, because I can't be negated anymore thanks to me destroying Stop Magician. Put my weak Earth in defense mode. Attack into him with my 2 remaining monsters, and win. Invoked Dinos, guys. Invest now, before everybody gets nerfed. I'm guessing Elementsabers are going to be the one that gets somehow nerfed, since doing it to an Invoker did nothing at all. So Dinos is actually a pretty good option. Once we see the next replays with Fire, and it can definitely be utilized better than the Fire deck that I have, but it's gonna be pretty good. Dinos are awesome. I start the game with Jurassic World on the field like normal. I have Hyper Hammerhead. Skelesaurus you don't need in this deck. Skelesaurus is not a good card. It's just to get Invoke Dark. It's very rare that you ever want it on the field, but it's just a nice little backup just in case. You know, you never know what could happen. And Skelesaurus' effect, it's very situational. I summon Aleister. He misjudges me. Get it? Misjudge? You don't know what deck I have. Negates my effect. I have an Invocation in my hand. Don't care. I summon Earth anyways. With Rex in the graveyard, I can banish him. I can bring him onto the field from banishment. Bring Aleister back into my hand. I would have been 5k, but guess what? I couldn't be in my 1 turn. Or could I have? And that's it. That's Tyranno. So next we're gonna go to Yugi and the Dinos. So this is gonna be a way quicker version of the video because you got the gist of how the Dinos work without Purgatrio. But now we have Purgatrio in the deck, as you just saw the little unpackaging video of the first time I got it, which was 2 weeks ago, which sucks. It took me forever to get Purgatrio. So here we go. We got a Fire Monster, but no Aleister. I summon Megalosmasher, set a back row, and my turn. I can't really do anything else. He summons Keeper of Dragon Magic. Sends Neos to the graveyard to get a Neos Fusion. Shuffles his little cards. He shows me a magical fusion card, gets Neos onto the field in defense mode, uses Neos Fusion to return Neos to the graveyard, summons Brave Neos, attacks on him Smasher, I Walla D him, he survives with Neos Fusion. Megalosmasher is not that bad. I Gold Sarc, a Giant Rex. Giant Rex in the banishment will summon itself onto the field. I then summon my second Megalosmasher, attack with Giant Rex, attack with Megalosmasher, attack with second Megalosmasher, 1 turn kill. Without even using Aleister. Pure Dinos at this point. So even Dinos are good against good decks, right? Neos used to be the biggest pain in the butt of all time. Look at them now, losing to Dinos. Actually, he just lost to Walla D. That's the only reason he lost. But necessary. So now we're going to be moving on to the event. This event was Leo and Luna's Duel Carnival. I preferred dueling here because, yes, it was easier, but also because it was more variety of decks to go against instead of the same one over and over again. I don't want my duel replays to be super stale of the same deck over and over again, so I resorted to using the Duel Carnival when it was active to get a variety of decks. I was always the 3-star for the most part, which would get me against the better players, but I would go dip down to 2 once in a while. I have Hyper Hammerhead and then Earth. Earth will then be my main card here. I return Aleister to my hand. I attack into the face down with Hyper Hammerhead. It is an Elementsaber. I attack into Earth. 4k, OTK. I use Aleister's effect. That's it. Elementsabers are still not better than Dinos. Here we have Bones. Straight to the grave. Bones, bones, bones. I use Gold Sarc to immediately get a Giant Rex into the banishment pile so I can summon him and have an extra monster on my turn. I summon Aleister the Invoker to get Invocation into my hand. And guess what I get to do? I get to invocate my Jurrac for Purgatrio. The first time I ever summoned it, by the way. It's my very first summoning of Purgatrio. I return Aleister to my hand. I end my turn so I cannot attack, which is pretty sucky. He Gold Sarcs his own monster. He uses some magic to remove my Purgatrio the first time I summon it. Can't even attack. That was really crappy. Can't do much else. So I summon my other Aleister, get a second Invocation into my hand. I use Invocation to get rid of my Giant Rex to get an Earth. That way Giant Rex is in the banishment pile. He can come back onto the field. Then I can use Invocation, return Aleister to my hand, have 2 Invocations. Well, one of them's in my deck, but still have my 2 Invocations. Whatever. Then I use the whole 4K beater to destroy Bones completely. Invoked Dinos. I'm going to say it every time. Invoked Dinos are awesome, but this is also the Duel Carnival. It is not the official ladder. So, you know, take it as you will. But this was a second stage duelist. This is a KC Cup. Did better than I did in the KC Cup. So even if it's in Duel Carnival, it's still a good duelist. You can hate it or you can love it. Take it or leave it. I have the worst possible hand I could have in opening. He's using Rex, Goodwin, and a Guardian deck. I Gold Sark a Giant Rex. Giant Rex can come onto the field. I summon my Jurrac. I Synchro Summon. I didn't show my... I don't remember having that in my deck. I Synchro Summon for this dude. I Wall a D his attack. He cannot kill me even with Power of the Guardians. He tries to stay alive with what he's got. I summon Aleister. Get Invocation. Get to use Invocation on Aleister and a Fire Monster. Oh yeah, okay. In my graveyard and summon Purgatrio. Return Aleister. I don't remember this duel at all. I'm sorry. I use Cosmic Cyclone on Power of the Guardians. Use Invoker's Effect on Purgatrio and destroy Rex. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed these duels, and I hope you like Invoked Dinos and try it out for yourself. My name is not Hurley, even though it says so. My name's Turretguy, and I hope to see you later.
I love you in the